Today is history. This is the time we are getting our data. It's my singular pleasure today to launch the National Wildlife Census 2021, #Count to Conserve.
Shimba Hills is one of the remaining coastal rainforests that used to extend from south of Somali to Mozambique. Historically, we have several sites here which are popular or are common with the local communities, which are called the Kaya Forest. So these Kaya forests are unique in that they are used to be known to be a source of a ritual power, and has a strong connection with the cultural history and origin of this local community. Shimba Hills National Reserve was first described as a forest reserve in 1903. Then in 1968, it was declared a national reserve. The name Shimba Hills comes from the word Shambi, which is a local Digo name that refers to the sable antelope. The sable antelope was one of the reasons why Shimba Hills National Reserve was gazetted as a national reserve. Shimba Hills ecosystem is composed of Shimba Hills National Reserve, Mkongani West Forest Reserve, Mkongani North Forest Reserve, and Maluganja Elephant Sanctuary. And the area is co-managed by both KWS and Kenya Forest Service.
I chose Kenya Wildlife Service because I wanted to protect wildlife. What motivates me is when I see animals that can graze or browse at peace.
Shimba is also a water catchment area. So being a water catchment area, it's a source of 3 permanent rivers, which include River Mkurumuji, River Ramisi, and River Marere. All these rivers are very important in that they supply water to neighboring towns and cities, both for domestic use and industrial purposes. It's also part of the Eastern Mountain Arc and a coastal biodiversity hotspot. So that means it has some of the very few plants and animals that are only found within the coastal region. The other features include the Shedrick Fall, which is popular with tourists in this place. Shimba Hills habitats includes the forests, scrubland, grasslands, and the plantations. The grassland habitats are mostly important and are utilized by sable antelope, which is endemic to this place, and other plain games like the buffalo, impalas, and other grazers. While the forests are used by mainly birds, which some of them are endemic to this place. The elephants, which use both a mixture of these habitats, that is the grasslands, scrublands, and the forest. And the white and black colobus monkeys also utilize the high canopy forest. The information we get from the census will help us improve management decisions on how to better manage wildlife in the reserve.
This survey, not only is it like a scientific exercise, it also helps in management. So we also pick any illegal activities inside of what should be a protected area.
The reserve currently, I think the issue of human-wildlife conflict within the reserve has changed. The population has not been stable. Maybe we blame some of the declines because of habitat fragmentation and the issue of poaching, especially for elephants. And then maybe diseases. And then we also have the inadequate species monitoring capacity.
So before boarding the aircraft, and in every day, we do a recap and training to identify and confirm the roles of each crew member. So we have 4 members in an aircraft. We have a front seat observer and 2 rear seat observers, where we are using either a helicopter or a fixed wing aircraft, which is 4-seater.
Before they go up, our office, the GIS team, prepare what is called block maps. The block maps, we do it such a way that we have flight paths. So when a plane is there, the pilot has to follow these transects.
We fly at about 200 to 300 feet above the ground. In censuses where we have thick canopy like in Shimba Hills, what we've just concluded, we fly at a width of 500 meters. But when we are using fixed wing aircraft in more open savanna ecosystems, we fly at a width of 1 kilometer. And in some other areas where there's lower density of wildlife, like in the north parts of Tsavo, we fly even at 2 kilometers up to 5 kilometers where need is less. So the role of the pilot is keeping the aircraft afloat. The front seat observer records most of the data, but also ensures that the pilot is maintaining the transect. The rear seat observers, one to the left, one to the right, their main role is to make observations. If I can mention about the Shimba Hill survey, the key observations that we have been looking for are elephants, sable antelope, giraffe. We have a few giraffes here, and then the smaller antelopes, and if there is any illegal activity. So when an observation is made, the rear seat observer will shout an observation, then the front seat observer will mark a coordinate for that, a location for that, and share that coordinate for them to fill into the data sheet. Where we have big herds of key species like elephants, or now here in Shimba Hills, we are very interested with the endangered sable. You are aware that we only have about 50 of them. So where there is a bigger group of that. So in each of these data collecting crews, there comes in a camera. And the camera will now take a photograph to reconfirm these figures that have been recorded on the dictaphone. So once we stop counting, and because we also want to calculate the amount of search effort that is spent, we have clear marked times between ferrying and counting and landing times. So we record the time that we start the count, we stop the count, and the time that is spent ferrying from where we start counting and where we land. So at the end of the count, we stop the count, then we land, then we present this data to the data crew.
So when the plane aircraft has landed, we pick these equipments, then we come here, we download the data sets from these equipments. After that, the data crew can extract data from them. Then the data equipments are cleaned for another session to collect data.